We struggle in currents, and sometimes we forget to remember to breathe. That life's river flows towards a destination where we will inevitably land, whether in suffering or in ease. So, what if we choose to just float and let go? Instead of worry where the stream is going, instead of diving deep against the currents, grasping at some beyond our depths, knowing, we choose to sink into trust, relax into a restful, easy flowing, allowing grace to wash over us, to emerge at the shore, this place we've been going, to shake truth's hand, rested, rejuvenated, peaceful, and glowing. That poem is called Learning to Float, and it's one of the more recent poems that I've written. And today's talk is about, it's called Tuned In. And sometimes people talk about this place, abiding in this place where we're really, they call it in the flow, right? Learning to float instead of. Anybody here ever feel like in life we're getting stressed out, we're getting overwhelmed by all the things to do, and it feels like you're swimming upstream? Anybody ever feel like that? Yeah, okay. So today I really wanted to talk about how do we get into that sweet spot where instead of feeling like everything is so difficult and we're swimming upstream, have you ever felt like you're flowing with the stream and everything is just going exactly how it should? You're right in the exact place at the exact right place at the exact right time. You're in the flow. You're tuned in. You're in the zone, right? Anybody have a specific activity or things that you like to do that sort of seem to just get you in that place? Like you could raise your hand and just kind of give an example. I saw your hand go up, sir.
My morning meditation, just being in the flow in that precise moment, being taken
Yes.
and blessing
Yes.
that is
Yes. So quiet moments of meditation can be a really good way to get into that flow where it just feels like, it's like grace is washing over. Any other? Yes. Floating in the ocean. Oh, that's a good one. Yes. I love the ocean. Um, Chanting. Yes. Really good one. I personally really like chanting too, and I loved doing the Om Shanti song today because I think that our voices can be really powerful tools actually for literally tuning ourselves into a vibration or a frequency that is like in alignment with where we want to be, right? So chanting is an excellent way. One more, yes? Dancing. Oh yeah, yeah. Dancing, just letting it go, right? Letting it rip. Um, so yeah, these are all there's countless different ways to do it, and I don't think there's any one right way, but our journey can really be about finding more ways. And today I wanted to talk about a few things of maybe what are some things that get in the way. What are things that block us from being just tuned in all the time? Where ideally when we get up from our meditation, the whole practice is about, can I keep that state of being when I get up from the yoga mat, right? And can I stay in that place as I move throughout my day? And so what keeps us from staying in that place? Um, and I think I heard resistance. Yeah, that's going to be one of the first things I talk about. But I think this ties into Father's Day, and we think of Father, the divine Father. The masculine energy represents the aligned, like empowered masculine. Really, is just awareness. This ability to be fully present in the moment. that is what we hear a lot about, like toxic masculinity. But what is the empowered masculinity? It's just the ability to be present, fully here. And so all of these things that we're discussing, there's these practices for being present. And sometimes this takes a lot of courage. We think about courage a lot as like going, what you need to go into battle and to fight, right? But sometimes it takes a lot more courage even just to stand in your own heart and to be open and just to feel. And what are the things that push us away from that? But before I go any further, I wanted to just take some time to honor all the fathers in the room, honor Father's Day, and to Mr. Gerald D. Ali here this morning. You guys might know him. I call him Pops. But I want to just honor you, honestly, because this man is a really great father. And it has been a blessing for me to have you in my life and to witness what that looks like, of the unconditional support. And really, I think he is one of the most gifted people I know at staying in the flow, and like the curiosity and the just staying engaged, the ability to notice like the magic in the little moments. You're very good at that, Pops. And it's inspiring. And sometimes being a father is just like the little things, those little moments. And I just want to share like one particular thing. Like this past year has been kind of felt like an uphill swim for me in a lot of ways at times. And there was a moment, I probably don't even remember it, I think it was a couple months ago, where you just walked by me in the house, and you just said, "Hey man, I just want to say I believe in you." And that meant a lot to me at that moment. And it meant even more because I know you mean it. So thank you. Yes. Yeah. Round of applause for Pop. So one of the things that gets in the way, I think one of the number one things is this word resistance. I think somebody said it out loud, resistance. And it's really, that comes from a sense of judgment. I think when we are judging external things, when we are judging the situation, the current moment, and believing that things are not as they should be, somehow we're qualifying, our mind likes to qualify the present moment and the present circumstances and situations and say, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, that judgy thing, right? And if it feels like it's bad, that resistance thing pops up and we're like, no, 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 not this. And that really makes it difficult to be tuned in, to be in this state of flow, to go with it if we're trying to fight and say, no, this shouldn't be. And so what is the cure to this sense of resistance? A word that I'm constantly sort of redefining and deepening my understanding of surrender. Right? Going back to that first poem, the learning to float. Learning to, instead of inserting judgment onto our exterior reality, can we find ways to replace judgment with curiosity and interest? This is interesting. This is interesting. Why? Can we start to ask questions instead of maybe feeling like we have the answers of how it should be? And one of the way, and looking for the beauty in things too. What's beautiful about this moment? Even if my knee-jerk reaction was that I don't like it, is there a lesson there? And one of the ways that I think resistance can look like a fight. It can also look like just distracting ourselves. We might resist a present moment by just sort of numbing out or finding ways to kind of like turn it off. I don't want to deal with it. Anybody ever feel like I don't want to deal with it? I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. And this is I think in this particular time, we have a big gauntlet to navigate. There's so many very readily available tools for distraction, like at our fingertips. And distracting ourselves can really take us out of that being tuned in, out of the moment. Because if we believe that so many spiritual teachers talk about the real peace, real joy is always existing in the present moment. And so if we are distracting ourselves, then we're not connecting with that. So how do we like build habits of not running away? So I'm going to share a poem sort of about that. And this one is called Connected or Disconnected. Every night we save ourselves in Facebook statuses and tweets. Instagram snapshots of weddings, meals, magical and mundane moments for all the World Wide Web to see and remember. Do we remember when some things were kept sacred? Can we still share without internet? Can we be social without social media? Are all our memories only quantified by gigabytes and megabytes? What about notebooks? What about front porch stories? What about trees that have sat and listened patiently for centuries? The moment we reach into front pocket to share with all of our Facebook friends, we are no longer sharing the moment with the person right in front of us. We watch our son's first steps through a camera phone lens instead of our eyes. Fret over what angle to capture the perfect sunrise. Are we connected or disconnected? When connecting to Wi-Fi under lit night skies, connect the dots, ask the stars, does Google have the answers I am searching for? I remember when remembering was a beautiful skill mastered by storytellers and poets instead of something store-bought. Google has cheapened the art. We've been handed the apple, just like it was written, clearly see on the box where it was already bitten, and we still sink our teeth in. Because who needs smarts when you got a smartphone? Why pay attention to where I'm going? GPS will get me home. Where does this path lead us? Well, our whole lives become digitalized fragments of the truth. There are feelings that are beyond statuses. Momentous moments of infinity, too short and sweet for tweets. Lucid images of divine scenes that do not translate to screens. Leaders that you can't follow on Twitter. My space lies within my chest and can only be accessed by me. These divine expressions that it beats speak in love, not likes. Will we save ourselves tonight? Turn off the phones and computers and connect to life. For all that is worth remembering cannot be stored in gigabytes. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. And I think, those of us who are remember a time like before any of these things, like my generation is really kind of like one of those last generations that grew up without internet and things. So it's been a weird experience to see like the changes coming in, to see, I think, a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of wonderful opportunity and a lot of amazing potential for creating with these things, but I think we need to approach them with a great mindfulness because it is a very powerful tool of distraction. You'd be opening up and like 30 minutes later, you're like, what happened? I went down some weird dark hole. Okay. So the next potential block that I wanted to talk about is shame. And if resistance is coming from this externalized judgment about the outer circumstances, shame is really an internalized judgment. Things that we judge about ourselves. I should or shouldn't be this way. I should or shouldn't say this or do this, right? And we begin to be conditioned with all kinds of different layers of shame from a young age. I think, you know, before we start laying some of these societal expectations on them, kids at a very young age are very free of shame, right? Like when we see the little young ones march in at the end of the service, and they're, and they're up here and they're like, "Bunk, bunk, bunk." It's like they don't, zero shame, right? Like if they feel like doing a little dance, like they're gonna do it, and like there's no thought of like I shouldn't dance right now. Which is I think that's why kids bring so much joy into our lives, because it's amazing. They're amazing teachers in that way of like if we want to stay tuned in and present in the moment, like we should allow ourselves to chant when we feel like we need to make noise and create music and tune ourselves. We should feel free to sing and dance. I think without shame, there would be a lot more singing and dancing that we're sharing with each other, and those things feel good. And the only reason why we're not doing it more is because of shame, I think, or that internalized judgment. So I have a next poem that I want to share, and this poem was a really powerful journey for me of coming out of shame, like some of really difficult kind of traumatic experiences in my life when I was early 20s, and I was beginning to have these experiences of talking about tuned in. I've always felt that a lot of my poetry comes from, not necessarily coming from me, like it just comes all at once, and I'm like, I just need a pen before it's gone. And before I had a lot of spiritual grounding and understanding of that, sometimes that the experience of these things coming into my head kind of freaked me out. Like I literally thought I was going crazy at times, and I was in like mental hospitals a couple of times because of that. And again, I think a lot of that came from resistance. Like it was something that was coming to me, and I was resisting it out of fear or judgment. And this poem was the beginning of a journey for me of coming out of shame and embracing something that was originally very scary or overwhelming, and finding the power in it, or finding the beauty in it, and finding the gifts in it for me. And being able to, every time that I get to share it, it's like taking another layer of the onion of shame off for myself. So this one is called Tuned In. It's one of those nights. The radio is talking to me again. I'm wide open, receiving signals and waves, questions answered in song, telling me everything is okay now, today. It's not about what you done, it's about what you doing. I am here in the moment. I'm talking here and now. The greatest gift, I feel it uplift me out of past regrets. Feel something shift as I surrender to its call. Let me love you, and I will love you until you learn to love yourself. It feels good to stop resisting. Feels good to hear the universe's appreciation when it knows I am listening. I belong with you, and you belong with me. Is this God talking to me? Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. I want to understand, what am I supposed to do? So many questions, you're still not listening? You're still not listening? My home therapy client with autism begins repeating this from the back seat. I look at her in the rear view, not really sure who I'm talking to anymore. I ask her, what do you want to tell me? She simply responds with a silent stare. And I nod in understanding, and then we both sing along, tune back in. Believe with me tonight, tonight. The impossible is possible. It's one of those nights when I can feel it. I'm sure the radio is talking to me. Just because I couldn't explain it to myself or anyone else before did not make me crazy. So I put my faith in something I know. You're giving me such sweet nothing. Sweet nothing, but I need something to hold on to when the radio turns off, so I gotta write it down this time. Stay in it, poet. See, this is where the doubt creeps in. My own voice playing on repeat, saying it's not gonna sound right. People won't get it. Well, forget it. Write this reminder for yourself then, because life's too short to even care at all. Whoa. I'm losing my mind, losing control. And maybe that's it. The answer. When we finally lose our minds, we will come back to our senses. Breath, scent, seeing with clarity, feeling. Here is where you taste healing on every inhale. Now is the address at which eternity resides, where the soundtrack to true happiness hides. Are you tuned in? Our hearts are like radios, sending and receiving signals in sync with the vibrations we are tuned to. Everything is love. Our life beat is the proof. Love is loud, even in silence, and it takes practice to broadcast truth, but realize that the moment is always playing the perfect song. We will find harmony when we stop shuffling, stop searching, and sing along. Thanks. Thank you, guys. So, I think the final thing that maybe gets in our way sometimes is pride. And what is pride? But sometimes that looks like an unwillingness to ask for help. I suck at this. I'm really bad at asking for help and vocalizing my needs, and I'm getting better. But there's if the magic is always in the moment, and the divine presence is always right here, and there's so many guides and beautiful life all around us, ready to offer this energetic assistance, and all we have to do is ask for help sometimes. And the pride thing gets in the way, where we feel like this is my job to figure it out. I have to do it. Like, I need to know the answer. Like, so what is the cure? Like, letting go of the need to know. Letting go of the need to know the answer. And it doesn't mean that we give up on like mastering whatever our craft is, working at it, practicing, fine-tuning our practices for being in the moment. But it goes back to the surrender thing, like surrendering to the idea that we can always be improving, but we're never gonna. Part of this game is that we're never gonna know everything. We're never gonna have it all figured out. And when we can just admit that and be open to asking for help and be open to also receiving help, that's a gift. That's a skill in and of its own. When someone is actually offering help, can we receive it? Getting out of the way of pride. And So this has been a journey for me. Like that last poem was kind of sharing this journey of being able to be open to, certain messages that are coming at times. And now it's like a gift that I get to, the more I open to that, the more poetry comes to me, the more, and something I've been exploring lately is the past year I've been doing personal channeling sessions. It's my belief that everybody channels whether they know it or not, especially artists when we're creating or something. It's like a lot of us probably have this experience of feeling like even if you're painting or you're acting or you're singing, sometimes it's like, have you ever watched someone performing whatever it is they're doing and they're just really in the zone, right? And it's like you just see spirit moving through them, right? That's what we would call channeling, I think. And so I've been exploring that. And if you're interested, I wanted to make myself available after service. Once I'm able to greet people and everything at my table, I can make myself available for about an hour to do a handful of like 15-minute sessions if you wanted to just sit with me. What I do is I try to get out of the way. I invite my guides in, the same place that I feel my poetry comes from. I asked those guys to speak through me, and offer any guidance. You can ask whatever questions come, and I just let it flow. And I've been collecting testimonials, and it seems to be helpful for a lot of people. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And I'll be doing it. I'll be available for booking at a place called the Radiant Temple over in West End, where they do Kundalini yoga and things. And you could get on an email list for that. And usually I offer a workshop after the service, but that's what I'll be doing instead. But also I do have an upcoming workshop called Writing from the Heart, which is coming up on the 23rd, which is next Sunday. It'll be at 2 o'clock, 2 to 3:30. And in that workshop, what we'll be doing is, again, I'll be guiding all the participants through a process of tuning in to our own inner divine guidance, and we'll use poetry to tap in and to see what our hearts want to say. And it's a really beautiful workshop, so you'll be able to make it. Even if you come to service here, you'll be able to make it over there. And again, I have flyers for that, and you could sign up online for that today if you want to. So yeah, again, to look at, so we're practicing getting out of resistance, shame, and pride. And all of those, the more that we can practice letting go of each and every one of those, what it does is it opens a door to a childlike state of curiosity, and opening a door to real joy and a real sense of play, where we can play just like children. I promise you, pay attention when the kids come in here today and watch their state of being. They are tuned in, and they are just effortlessly in this mode of play and creativity and things. And we can approach life in that same way, but it takes letting go of pride, the need to know the answers. It takes letting go of shame, and it takes letting go of resistance of like, this shouldn't be this, but instead, oh, what is that? What's going on right now, right? There's so much more joy in life in that way. So that is my talk for today, and I really appreciate you guys allowing me to share, and we'll move into meditation now. I'm probably a little over time, so I tend to be long-winded. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll just sit up here then.
Oh, wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. So this song will lead us into meditation. It's called The Song Is You. Spirit flow through me like a melody, ancient and brand new. Yes, the song is you. May our people hear strains so sweet and clear. Let your joy come through, for the song is you. I will be the instrument you play. Bring your sweet music to me each and every day. For what joy I know to be in the flow. Every note rings true when the song is you. I will be the instrument you play. Bring your sweet music to me each and every day. For what joy I know to be in the flow. Every note rings true when the song is you. Every note rings true when the song is you.
I invite everyone to close your eyes, get comfortable in your chair, and take a nice deep breath in through the nose, breathing all the way down into your belly. Feel your belly expand. And exhale, just letting go of any distractions, worries from the day, worries about next week, tomorrow. Another deep breath in, all the way into your belly, and exhale. Now begin to just relax into moving our awareness into your heart space. It can help if you want to place your hand over your heart. I invite you to just tune in to your own heartbeat. Just feel that pulse, that pounding in your chest. And just put all of your attention there, noticing, is your heart beating fast or slow? Does it feel really strong or does it feel faint? Just tuning into this unique rhythm that is your own life beat. And as you tune in more and more, noticing that your heart is always working without you having the effort, sending this life force throughout your whole body, through your veins. See if you can go deeper and feel this same pulse that you feel in your chest. Can you feel that in your wrist? Can you feel your heartbeat in your fingertips? Reaching down deeper, can you feel this pulse in your gut? connecting that inner stillness and peace of your heart into your intuition, into your center of knowing in your gut. Going down deeper, can you feel your heartbeat in your ankles and the tops of your feet? Coming all the way back up the body now, can you feel your heartbeat in your temples, the top of your head? Really activating our heart space from head to toe now, just tuned in our whole bodies to this inner place of stillness, of peace, of knowing. And I want you to imagine now that your body is like a radio tower radiating these vibrations of peace, stillness, and knowing out from your body, with every pulse of your heart pulsing out these radio waves of just pure love energy out to all the other hearts in this room. Expanding it beyond this room. Seeing how far you can broadcast these heart wave signals with every pulse. And just know, remind yourself as you are in this place, that this place of inner stillness, inner knowing, inner peace is always readily available to us right within ourselves, within our own chest and our heart. And that when we tune into that for ourselves, then we are able to broadcast that out as if our hearts are like radios. And we can share this vibration with others. And the other hearts, the other radios around us will pick up that frequency. And this is how we become a beacon in life. A transmitter, peace, joy, and stillness, the same peace, joy, and stillness that we seek. When you're ready, you can begin to come back to the room and just connect with the present moment from this place and see how long you can stay there.
Thank you, Hamilton. Exactly. Let's have another round of applause. Now is the time for our law of the offerings and tithes. So if you have a physical tithe, if you would hold it in your hand. And if you're doing things digitally, otherwise, hold it in your heart and hold it in your mind and bless these gifts. And we will give our affirmation right now. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving. Celebration and song.
We'd like to dedicate this to all our fathers, because you stand by us all the time.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light I see.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now.
Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me.
If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountain should crumble to the sea,
I won't cry, I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me.
and darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now.
Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Darling, I want you to stand
By me. Oh, stand
by
by me. Oh, stand now.
Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, Lucy on the keyboard. Here we go.
And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now.
Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, darling, I want you to stand
By me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now.
Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Oh, oh. Stand by me. 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 Stand by me.
And now let us bless these gifts. We are so grateful for these gifts. Remembering that the gift and the giver are one, we send these gifts forwards to expand the love and joy consciousness within this community in Richmond and around the world. And let us affirm together our affirmation, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful, and one more, I am grateful, because I didn't get it right, come on. And that's the time we like to acknowledge our prayer chaplains by having them stand. All right. The prayer chaplains provide a wonderful service for this church community. And if you have a celebration or a concern, the chaplain will pray with you and hold your prayer in confidence. You can leave a prayer request at the prayer box here. It's right over here. Or you can call our offices at 804-320-5584 and leave a message, and your call will be returned by one of our wonderful prayer chaplains. And thank them for their commitment. It is quite a commitment, and appreciate their work. And now is the time to take a moment to acknowledge all the wonderful people that make this service possible, which is a lot. From the folks who met you at the door, the people who are in Fellowship Hall, our greeters and ushers, Sherry and Carrie working on the gremlins back there and doing a fantastic job. Our music team and featuring our fantastic duo of Bernard and Josh. Susan Moncure, who did a great job as well. Of course, Hamilton. We give them another. And then there's me. I don't know if that's arrogance or not, but what the heck. I think it's now we call the children in. Are they there? I don't know.
Good morning. How are we doing, Unity? Good, good. All right. Well, we've had a fun day. We've been painting coaster sticks, wood coasters, and rocks for our dads. And we had so much fun doing that. We missed out on our snacks, so just so you parents know. And I also didn't think about it beforehand, but they'll be ready next week because they gotta dry. And Miss Janet gave us wonderful help today holding our Sleepy Bentley. Yeah, a lot of fun.
So I realized in thanking all the people, including myself before, we did not actually give our blessing. So we will give blessings to those folks and to our children and the teachers. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ you are. And we see you doing amazing things. And now let's stand and do our prayer for protection and the peace song.
Surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Jerry, happy Father's Day. Yes.
Fabulous and radiant and everything. Oh, always. I just finished a little short film that I did up in we're gonna have to do someone reached out to me and said, another short film and said, we want you to do this with us, and it's gonna try to turn into a bigger film.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't wait to tell you that.
Yeah.
How are you doing? What are you up to? Oh gosh, no. I'm waiting to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know. I want to come see it.
All right, sweetheart. I'll send you an invite. A little bit. I just want to see more of the acting. Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
How are you? Good to see you. It's been really Yeah. You guys been busy.
Yeah. Lots going on, but it's good. I'm grateful to be doing all the things. Yeah. Connect with people.
Good. Busy and, overextended. But I'm about to slow down now a little bit. Yeah, I am. I've got to be intentional about that too.
And float.
I got to float. Yeah, Hamilton. Like
I have an art piece I was thinking
Hamilton
of.
spoke to the right things. Yeah. What are you? You're focusing on? I heard you say.
Yeah, acting. So, I'm doing
Film or
amazing. Mostly film and television. Theater with my schedule right now with work is tough. I mean, I'd love to do theater. It's just.
It is. Yeah.
I love it. I'll get back into it. I think at some point.
Yeah.
But for now, me and Hamilton have our agent in Atlanta, so it's been pretty slow after the strikes and things. But we did an indie film last summer that's in post, is pretty much done, and it's going to start going to film festivals hopefully as a feature. And then doing some amazing acting. Mostly overseas. Started by a German guy. It's called Chem, Verna Chem's emotional method. All based on the organs of the body. Energy work, basically. And it's very like based on a lot of research and stuff. But they, for it to be approachable, they don't necessarily say all the more spiritual side of it. Sure.